select for this last game. I do think that this draft is going to be incredibly pivotal. We're in there now. We are going to see that Galio ban is remaining on the list here for Dplus Kia, as well as the Nocturne that we saw last time. The Victor also needing to be banned away, as both ShowMaker and Smash have shown that they're brilliant on the pick.
Yeah, and obviously, Fearless at play starting to thin down the champion pools a good amount. We've already had, you know, the Ziggs come through, the Cassiopeia, the Syndra, the Talia. A lot of these options you could play in the bot lane, and we've had these consistent Victor bans. So I feel like we're at the point where you're getting to the less played mages, or you're just going back to AD carries, which both these players very proficient on.
Yes.
They'd be fine with that, but does change up how things are going to be played.
And the Seraphine, still up and available. I think that's sort of the last one that's at sort of the higher tier of these bot lane mages. See whether that does get a look in as far as the bans are concerned, or whether anyone is going to be able to pick them up.
Camille and Leona are gone. Nautilus is your premier engage support. Whoever gets that has the potential to control how fights start.
Yeah, we haven't seen that much Mel during this tournament.
Yeah, true.
Together, but that's still an option, still available.
And the Rise going to be taken away, as well as that Anivia. I think the Anivia really gave it away that they wanted to play this with the Cassiopeia fearlessly banned already. The Blue Man was going to be off to a pretty good start. But an Annie first pick here from ShowMaker is going to mean that we might be a bit heading towards more of the Rise group flavor, you know?
The Poppy gets left open, which was banned in both the previous games, so...
That's a scary one. Duro and Canyon are both incredibly good at the pick as well.
It creates... We're expecting the Wukong from Lucid in this situation, but if you get the Poppy early in the draft, it means that you can control the early game before Wukong has level 6, and it could be a fairly strong matchup into the Wukong itself, but you get to make the early impact, and it means that Dplus Kia's choice of looking for that big combo with Annie will come at a heavy early game cost, if that Poppy is to come through.
I also think the Rumble in this situation, you know, some of the picks we've seen into the Rumble are like the Ambessa and Cassante, which are gone, but also when there's less mages bot available, I feel like the Rumble value goes up because you're not just going to be oversaturated in AP across your team composition.
Oh, Canyon waiting a long time before he decides to even hover anything. 1 second to go. See what that lock-in is going to be. We were expecting the Poppy, but instead the Xin Zhao will come on through from Gen.G. Will Dplus decide to lock in the Poppy themselves? It is actually decent denial for the audacious charge coming out from the Xin that is already represented, and opens the door for you to be able to play something like the Rakan towards the bottom side of the map that we've seen work so well with the Annie, or a potential Wukong that is coming in.
Could also be a Lucian lane that they lock in here first, and that is what is looking to be the case. Taking a page out of KC's book with this one. See if the Milio comes. It does so. Not necessarily looking for that Wukong here, but having great burst follow-up to the easy stun setup here from ShowMaker is going to be the name of the game for now, and we'll find out what this Chovy counter
I was having a war.
Here.
I think this puts you in an awkward spot because I feel like when you have compositions that can lock down the Lucian, you're going to feel great about it, but you only have one pick here to respond with. You probably don't want to pick part of your bot lane unless you really want the Nautilus here.
All the mid laners are gone, bro. You gotta play Yone, Sylas.
For that Sylas, but there's not much
Annie blind.
Smashing this Lucian right now.
I'm not hyped for this Sylas, you know?
Like Vi, Nautilus into it. That can really shut down the short
It's just that Sylas is a better lane than Yone does against Annie.
The Nautilus, but potentially also a Lulu.
Someone give the 10 subs, really?
Any of those Lulu lanes that could outscale.
Yo, J-Mint!
Sylas.
Thank you very much, J-Mint. All right, we hit the goal. We hit the goal, guys.
Where we see Gen.G.
We're gonna get a soundboard.
Yeah, I also think that the Caitlyn is worth a look in as well.
Swain top into Rumble, I don't think that's so good.
Gen.G have just
especially when enemy has Sylas. You get, like, literally, Sylas ult might be the best ult in the game for Swain.
But the Yorick going to be taken away as one of the premier options into the Rumble, as well as that Rakan that is going to be removed. Could have been very powerful in the hands of Duro.
Also, I just have to say, Chovy's ult options so far kind of suck. In terms of, like...
What do you mean? He can drop his own bear.
Yeah, but without the stun,
Sylas is ass, guys.
Oh, it's still intimidating. You can just walk
this
away.
This Sylas look-in is tragically bad.
Great.
Yeah, it's not fantastic.
It is good for a scaling AD carry, potentially, as they will lose the Wukong here. So they took away one pseudo counter pick, I would say, in the Yorick into the Rumble, and then they took away that pairing of the Annie Wukong.
There's that Lulu ban, so you're onto something there.
So I think it's got to be some type of Nautilus lane, right? You've got setup, otherwise you can lock down this Lucian. always want to punish Lucian when he wants to follow.
I like the Nautilus angle that Wolf is talking about
here. He has
here.
to go very far forward to deal that damage, and that's when the punish has to come through. So that's my expectation for Duro here, but he might have other ideas.
Yeah, Ruler being pretty vocal in comms right now, possibly an AD carry pick to be locked away first, and then save that counter pick for the support.
Senna.
But instead, the
Senna
is going to be
Nautilus.
locked in, theoretically both, which is kind of
Damn,
cute.
Senna
And
Nautilus.
now, what are we going to see out of Lucid and
Wow.
Siwoo in this game?
It's been a while.
If they go into a game 3 and they play Alawi on the top side of the map, then this might just be the greatest best of 3 of all time. But you know, sometimes you have to be careful about what you wish for, and it is into the Rumble this time
Lucid
around.
Kiana.
What is the choice?
Jarvan.
This deep into this best of 3.
Aatrox.
Aatrox is kind of
This is Aatrox could be top into Rumble.
Very early Oblivion Orb out of Kiin. If it is going to be locked in, and there it is. Could be in the jungle.
Yeah,
could be top.
We don't have the full information yet. I'm still
likely top.
This jungle is low key.
Fantastic for Chovy in the ult selection. I feel like Dplus is purposely trying to think, how can we limit the tools that this pick has? Well, if they go for
Alright,
Jarvan,
Sylas got some ults here in 4-5. He actually got some ults.
Necessarily looking the greatest. We've seen a lot of Sylas is stealing away Milio ults as well. So that might have been why
Jarvan ult is really fat on Sylas.
There is that Jarvan coming in.
Here comes the Nautilus.
But also Sylas in this draft feels really, really tough. Obviously, the Senna eventually have a lot of long range, but you're still so vulnerable. You're still so squishy. And it's going to take a long time to get there. We knew this was going to be the final answer. We talked about it much earlier on in the draft here with everything else we've seen. It was really the only option. Senna doesn't play well with enchanters right now in this meta, and you need more engage.
Yeah, Olaf into Rumble is not a lane people like playing, my friends.
I think Gen.G have a draft that's flexible, but again, execution is going to be very difficult.
Yeah, I'm also a bit concerned because even though I think the Senna with these bulkier targets to kind of facilitate and back them up makes sense, the Senna is massively at MSI.
Well, I expect this to be a bloody affair, bro.
A lot less souls if you are farming. The optimal tech is you're not
I think
farming,
that I worry about ShowMaker's game.
Pros do that, and it just means we had games like the Pays game where we had like 20 souls at 20 minutes, and it was just dire.
To offer an alternative, I think a lot of teams in this meta right now probably would have built a Seraphine lane here because you're playing into so much aggressive front push. You know that the Annie is going to be paired with something that wants to go in. The Lucian is low range. Feels very punishing there as long as you can get out of the laning phase, but they went for a very different approach here.
And now it is time for us, as we load onto the Rift, to throw it over to Lou in the crowd.
Thank you, guys. We have indeed a full Korean matchup between Gen.G and DK as I'm standing by with the fans, Shuran and Kylan. I'm going to ask you first, Kylan, because I heard you come from a long way here to Paris. So what is the thing that you've been enjoying the most about your trip, EWC? Why should fans come, basically?
Paris is just an awesome city to be in. The fans here are super passionate. The fans are super loud.
Is he famous?
It's a great environment for the Esports World Cup. I'm having a blast watching all these high-level games. It's just awesome all around.
I'm glad to hear that, of course. Donc, première question, pourquoi est-ce qu'il faut venir à Paris? Qu'est-ce que tu kiffes de ton voyage puisqu'il vient de Hawaï? Eh ben, moi, je kiffe de fou. La ville est incroyable et les fans donnent aussi énormément d'énergie. And I want to ask you now, can you give me one reason why your team is going to win this game 3 and make it to finals?
I know that I'm the fan of DK. I know we didn't have a
She
very
just grabbed the microphone,
history
bro.
against Gen.G, but we did it once this year.
He's a famous Saudi belly dancer.
We can do it twice. And I think every DK fans know the reason why we need this victory desperately at the moment. So I would say DK champion.
DK champion, let's see if they can.
I'm always on ShowMaker's side. That's beautiful.
C'est un petit peu difficile pour DK historiquement contre Gen.G, mais
That's
je pense qu'on peut le
beautiful.
faire une deuxième fois et que ça peut être différent. And what about you? Why is Gen.G going to win this game?
Because we're going to be the first team to go back-to-back for League of Legends. Easy win!
Easy win, back to the game. Let's see if he's right.
I absolutely love that response, and yes,
ShowMaker might be one of the most lovable players of all time.
A little bit of fire in their bellies moving into this game.
Easily, bro.
Number 3.
Easily.
And we are there. Onto the Rift, and we'll see whether
His
this
life just got
competition is
ruined
going to
by
work out. I
his
actually
teammates.
believe that these drafts are a whole lot closer and a little bit teetering towards the Dplus Kia direction as well, and we'll see whether the play is going to reflect that.
I think this draft is really volatile for Dplus, even though I favor it, just simply because if it doesn't get ahead, if it doesn't actually find those early leads, the draft does become a lot simpler to play for Gen.G, and the Senna gets a free early game from ahead to then scale up and start to outrange and it makes it really hard for example, the Aatrox and the Jarvan to come in and punish.
To me, I think Siwoo, if you can get a lead here on the Aatrox, you're playing into 4 melee champions at a Senna who's not going to offer the most DPS with the nerfs that she had. So you can just thrive and survive in these team fights. You'll get a lot done. But if you fall behind an Aatrox, you kind of just die before any of that really happens.
Yeah, you're mentioning the power of the Aatrox, but also I think that this Lucian is going to be pretty problematic if Ruler is not going to be in a position where he can threaten a fair bit of damage, as you were saying before, just because with low range...
Interesting rune choice by Kiin.
You know, a lot of advantages that you can pick up with a champion like the Lucian, whose range has generally been...
I like Siwoo Aatrox generally.
Into this comp.
It's a pretty unique pick
One draft.
Aatrox in this matchup, but it suits the Bruiser...
I don't know.
Or not the Bruiser, but the
I think the Gen.G is going to win.
Of how Dplus want to get online.
That's where I'm landing, guys.
See very often these days, and we have so many iconic Aatrox players in our region, champions of the Worlds tournament that have played it very well.
I think Red Side draft requires too much finesse.
It's a little bit surprising to see him pull out, but I think it's an evolution of
Gen.G outskills with Senna, I don't know if I can say that. Like, Lucian Milio are really strong. Like, Lucian Milio in this game. Like, Senna scaling like that is fake. Like, when people say, oh, Senna's gonna get 200 stacks and outrange everybody. Like, that's not real, you know? That's just not a part of the equation.
Going over towards the enemy blue, make sure that one does happen as Smash gonna get exhausted here as Duro going in aggressively. There's a decent anchor gonna connect onto Korea, but he is there to keep Smash safe as they do back away. But Canyon moving on down. Dplus getting wind of it, understanding that that might be a bit of a danger here, and Korea is going to confirm it.
Canyon pivoted well.
Before the lightning.
But this is Lucid intentionally split mapping, guys. He's intentionally map splitting.
Exactly what happens in lanes like this where a push comes through is that level 3 gank will catch you. But they are able to realize it, know the timing, and back away just in time.
Yeah, the wave also did a decent spot.
And bot lane just gets zoned off. I don't know about map splitting with Jarvan, bro, into Xin Zhao.
Committed by Siwoo. Kiin hasn't.
We out here map splitting against Xin Zhao. At least we got a lead. Xin Zhao didn't take Grom. But it's kind of uncomfortable that Lucian and Milio don't get to play the lane, you know?
Doesn't want to, like you say, be trading really anything if he can help it.
He is Aatrox, will be able to heal up.
Not a big fan of the map split.
He does want things like the Sun and Sky before he's really happy about that. Chovy now moving back towards this mid lane once again on that melee matchup. Not having the greatest time in the very early stages, but should be fine moving forward. And he is not necessarily expected to be massively lane dominant. Going to be used a lot for those stuns later on in the game. As Gen.G, they move Canyon down towards his bottom side. He is looking for his Krugs before anything else. Smash.
This loses first spawns.
So did Ruler, but this is going to be a really nice spike.
Xin Zhao is not as homeless as it might seem. His respawns are faster. He's gonna take golems red and then take his respawns top. As long as Jarvan doesn't re-invade him, like, he's chilling.
Leads on so that they force Gen.G into uncomfortable fights. If Gen.G get even one of those first 2 dragons, it means the Senna can just buy time and avoid fighting and continue to scale and get additional range.
Kiin doing pretty decently here towards his top side, even though that trade didn't necessarily go his way. He now teleports back.
I say this because Xin Zhao will be level 5
and breaking the infernal chains becomes
when
so
the crab
much
spawns.
With those shoes, just don't tell Huni about it.
Didn't Riot got Senna ADC? Yeah, but people kept playing it after. And she got another big nerf on the current patch.
Those sweet spots and keep them safe.
But people kept playing it in Pro, and it was like 52, 53% range solo queue.
Has 11 souls, you know, over halfway to 20, and well before 20 minutes, so...
Yeah, very nicely done. Definitely on track to beat what you were talking about prior.
Canyon spent a lot of
People
time
just stopped playing Senna in Pro because mages came through, and mages are very hard for Senna. She can't stack against them. But when Lucian and Milio show, you can play Nautilus Senna.
And he's going to be able to pick up this first dragon, which is a Chemtech dragon, so chances are starting to look good that we'll have another impactful soul here in this third and final game.
Brutal pulse, they're bleeding it.
Now, obviously, as Rumble starts to get online,
who are you cheering for, Yamato? I don't mind.
Is starting to stack up a little bit here.
I low-key feel so burnt out. I need a...
And Gen.G are just gonna have to
I feel like, bro, I'm always doing something, bro.
Going down, picked up here by
Always tell my fiance, oh, after MSI it'll be okay.
The bottom side of the map
And then after MSI, I take a job at C9 and the ZWC, bro. Like,
fight in 2 minutes time or something
cooked.
like that, but otherwise I think things are going to be a little bit quiet for the immediate future.
It's that first Chovy Tibbers.
There it is. Throw that bear down.
So annoying laning into Annie and just as soon as you're level 6, just bear thrown on your head.
you're going Rivka on barbecue tomorrow, EWC final.
Really gonna make the same impact.
No. I'm gonna do EWC final.
You could like hit the abscond chain, you know, as you land the bear to give
That's
it the
what
vibe.
I've decided.
It's the same.
Yeah.
You do need to hit the skill shot in order to make that one work.
Impossible decision to make.
There it is! The Tibbers battle. They should actually have like a Pokemon battle here in the mid lane. Make the Tibbers fight each other. Come on, guys. They're just fighting it. That's not how the Pokemon battle works. It's not the trainer taking on the... Okay, never mind.
It's a new take on it, honestly. I've not seen it. Okay, it just seems like a good strategy because...
Yeah.
Back to regular season prison, indeed.
The trainers do seem a lot easier to
I'm really hyped, guys. Maybe I'm not allowed to talk about it yet, but bro, we basically have ADC co-streaming rights this year, guys.
Everyone gets the extra 50 gold.
Yeah, baby.
Lucid just going to take Canyon's red buff away, right under his nose. As Canyon
Lucid is
cancel his
Finally.
Running this early game. He has full control. He has 350 gold up for the 20 CS he has. Several camps.
Are you gonna be co-stream while coaching? Yeah.
Canyon is the best at using that Yumio mode, by the way. He is so good at it.
But it's a sizable lead in the mid and in the jungle right now for Dplus Kia. Even bot lane has a bit of CS lead as well, so it's nothing crazy so far, but just starting to build up an advantage in this game.
Yeah, control ward I think is going to be found here by Lucid around his red buff, but should be able to steal away the enemy one and grab a new one here, as that's a lot of damage onto Duro. Does find the
What
wall
about the
as
culling?
Shock is going to wear off. There is the culling. Duro is able to walk it off, at least for the moment. Doesn't have to use the flash, but did have to invest the heal for the movement speed in order to get out of the way.
Now, Jarvan is topside. Lucian isn't going to be able to set up a dive while the Nautilus is away here. So
Lucid secured the crab respawn of a bot play. In bot situation. So he did snowball after the early game.
Yeah, there you go. There's a little bit of extra something.
And a potion.
Snare comes down under smash. He does need to be a little bit careful. Might need to drink said potion there, Wolf, perhaps. As there is a plate going over to Kiin.
Very soft game, bro. I thought this was gonna be bloody as all hell with Zhao and Jarvan. I thought they're gonna fight to the death, you know.
Right now, but the grubs are going to be picked up by Gen.G. And that is going to help them in these side lanes. Sylas and Rumble pretty happy to get waves shoved in and try and do some damage to some turrets, especially the Sylas in this particular game. So grabbing those 3 grubs is going to be very, very important.
Absolutely.
Be able to do so.
In 2 minutes' time, we'll have that dragon set up. And unless something goes really wrong for Dplus, they should be able to maintain prio and secure it. And that's when things start to get more interesting, is what happens on next dragon in 6 minutes' time when the Herald goes. The fact that nothing has happened, that nothing has happened, but no kills have happened, no team fights or real big skirmishes have happened, is exactly how Gen.G like it in this game.
Oh yeah.
Sit back, survive this early game.
I think having a slow game is not bad for DK. I think the scaling is overstated. If Lucian and Milio can continue pressuring and they're in good state, like the Senna scaling point is not really true.
Needs 3 to go. He's got what, like 11 minutes to do it? I believe it.
They're getting Drakes and they're farming. They're chilling. DK is pissed chilling. It's a good game save for DK.
So much healing on both teams. Healing, shielding across the lineup. Lucid looking.
Cataclysm going to be picked up here by Chovy as Lucid gets himself out of there, realizing that if he's put in the cage, it's going to be a little bit of a rough time.
Sylas outvalues Annie by a lot.
ShowMaker there,
that doesn't have to be true.
Big tool to be unavailable going into that dragon fight.
Doesn't have the strongest ult.
Chovy has TP, so he's going to be able to reset at some point, get back with full mana. But ShowMaker not having the flash not only means he doesn't have that playmaking tool, but more of a target as well.
No Annie flash means that Gen.G might be able to fight on this dragon.
Be able to do so. They have vision in the pit with control ward as well as the crab controlled. And the entry from mid is also warded. We have a lot of information. And they're going to look to get that prio and secure this dragon. It's up to Gen.G to decide what they want to do, either make a topside play, which is looking a little more likely, or contest Dragon. So looking for that equalizer.
Chovy's just sending it, bro.
Over. Still has that Cataclysm, mind you.
Holy Chovy with the faker-esque play.
Cataclysm, Shu immediately flashes away from it. So that ward, bit of an exchange. Yeah,
What the hell? Very faker-esque play.
Certainly helps him get out of the shop and able to escape. Still getting the flash down and also giving Kiin some time with his.
I like skipping Proto Belt on Annie when you're solo AP.
Dragon, of course, that was the opt-in. They went for their top side. Because they know they like the camp.
They straight up made this decision, guys, because Aatrox is cooked.
Play, but because
I think it's a very good play from Chovy.
They don't get the kill.
It's legit. Bot lane can't contest this Drake. Let's full send it top. And they're getting a full ass tower.
Towards that turret as well. One stack left on that cull here for Smash, who is going to be very, very powerful, moving up to about a 600 gold advantage until Ruler cashes in his.
First brick.
Yeah, the grubs in Gen.G's hands, and also just like the attack speed from the passive from Rumble.
That's a cool play from Chovy, bro. Pushing Aatrox out.
Giving them the big edge when it came to taking down that tower.
Looking at it now, it was fucking genius.
Ruler losing a lot of farm there.
Look at Kiin's gold lead.
That Dragon kill feed announcement, and they're like, you know, I don't think I really want to try to get to that turret. They let that wave go.
So they just made the call with giving up this Drake, and he just sent everything to break Siwoo and make him base. And then he couldn't re-enter, and
they have the 2 dragons start. It's Ocean Soul, which is great for Gen.G, but it's not something more significant, as I don't know about this, Lucid.
Yeah, he's going to get knocked up, and now Kiin is going to move in towards this bottom side. They do get the Blast Cone out. It's an Ocean Soul this game as well. A lot of extra brushes here on the Rift, but not exactly the most optimal dragon. But it does mean that these Oblivion Orbs, the Mortal Reminders, are going to really need to come out from everyone who can buy one.
A lot of healing already, only going to be amplified now. Kiin had top lane pushed pretty deeply, so he's trying to make use of the time because Shu is just catching up, farming by his lonesome, and Kiin hasn't really been able to achieve too much other than that flash they got from Lucid,
if he hit that E, bro.
Has to head up to the top lane.
What's really scary for Gen.G now is everything has gone, for the most part, according to plan. It's a very late first blood in this game, or it's getting later by the second. We have this turret survives. They got the top turret. You know, they're very stabilized in terms of early game. But now Ruler's got to go to the mid lane. And now he's got to be careful about potential ganks, as we're going to see a commitment here.
Yeah, Duro actually going to activate that aftershock quite nicely. Goes down to 50% regardless. Still Smash in a little bit of a rough time. Korea can keep him alive, at least for the moment. Still holding on to the heal, but looking a little worse for wear. Good trade for Gen.G.
Ruler just not doing that much damage. Kiin, though, doing a bit more. Yeah, it just felt like even with the CC laid on a Smash, there just wasn't that much follow-up from the Senna to really cut through, especially with the healing being there from Korea, having that Echoes of Helia.
Still no first blood, bro.
He has caught up a lot.
I thought this would be the bloodiest FA we've ever seen.
Till that moment, we'll have his.
And now instead it's the slowest game of the whole tournament.
A little bit, sitting at 26 currently. About halfway to relevance in this game. And I think when you look at the mid lane,
whose draft you like, coach?
Right, he needs to be very careful.
I felt like Gen.G had enough here to get a win.
Jarvan can engage from so far away, even when this turret is up, and this is where he is most vulnerable. And if they lose this turret, this is why Herald is so important. If they lose this turret, it becomes incredibly difficult for the Senna to farm into this Lucian comp of Dplus. So this is where things get a little tricky.
And this is where Lucian has always shined, whether it was Lucian Nami back in the day or Lucian Milio, is playing for that mid cryo. You're trying to walk up and contest the wave, he can just dash on you and load a combo, chunk you out. And Senna at least has the assistance from the Shiv wave clear, but it's still not a comfortable
Cannon with blue smite.
You got Chovy
Lucid with red smite.
Right now was actually the one matching Shu there towards the bottom side of the map. You've got ShowMaker dealing with the Rumble. And Smash wanting to play aggressively, as you can see, moving towards Ruler.
I know, this is super important for both teams.
We do check in with this Aatrox.
I don't know, Chovy's items are so useless. He's supposed to fight here, bro. Look at his inventory, bro.
As a result. So
that's a homeless Sylas.
A lot of money on Kiin. Itemized defensively, has that Oblivion Orb, has Prio for topside, could be a big deal. His career,
needs to be very, very careful.
Kick,
but the root does come on down, needs to use the ulti to keep himself safe. There's the
Duro.
Lucid
Damn, fair play.
To throw down the Cataclysm, but finally
I didn't think they would be able to kill him.
In at 15 minutes,
but Jarvan had no flash and he knew it when he sent it.
Beautiful combo from Duro there, knows Lucid has no flash, CC layers and interrupts the flag and drag, doesn't give him a chance to get away. Decisive play, nets Gen.G First Blood.
This turret's still up. I don't think ShowMaker can make anything of this, even with his flash back up here. They should be able to get the turret with this wave, but it's at such a heavy cost. They got that kill, but most importantly, the Herald goes over. That means your turret in the mid lane is not under threat of getting killed by a charge here. It means you can use this turret to potentially contest this soul point here on Dragon. And this initially looks like, okay, maybe Cannon's overstepped. He has to use his Crescent Guard. So much damage comes through, but it's the play here from Duro. The flash insta-Aries in melee range just doesn't give Lucid any outplay opportunity. And Herald goes over in
we want to break this mid tower.
That fight.
With the Herald.
And Gen.G are now in such a comfortable
Well, we use it in the battle here for the Drake.
They are always the ones that can breathe easy if things are just moving forward, right? As the Senna begins to stack things up, she's going to have such a range advantage as this game goes on. Currently 38 stacks.
2-item Lucian.
Well, and so getting more and
be
more
good for
of that
Dplus.
range and damage. Feeling much,
It's a good time for them to fight.
Is done. Looks like he's going for the Black Cleaver build as well. We've seen some players forego the Black Cleaver in this one, but not deciding to do so this time around, as that interaction was nerfed somewhat.
ShowMaker could try to collapse here, but Gen.G's their formation is very good.
Oh, there's a teleport in from Siwoo. There's now Chovy looking to try and
ShowMaker
stop from making his way over, but this Annie does
no cleanse.
On top of multiple members. The equalizer not exactly fantastic, as Kiin has to flash away. It will be the Dragon going over to Gen.G, but can they keep themselves alive? That is the question, as Chovy hunting for ShowMaker in the backline. The rest of DK wanting to follow up. The bear
Duro
goes
should
down,
fall.
another bear goes down. Duro's the one in trouble though, and Smash should be able to pick this one up. There is that kill. Over the wall goes Lucid, and that keeps him safe. But a 1 for a Dragon is not exactly optimal here for DK, as they're unable to get that soul point.
They wanted so much more there. They know this game is slipping away from them a little bit here in terms of the hourglass ticking, because this Senna is getting more and more relevant. The Cataclysm there from Lucid caught 2, but the follow-up just wasn't in range. They got a few flashes here out of Gen.G. They got Kiins, they got Canyons, they got the kill onto Duro, but I don't think that alone is enough here for Dplus to feel good about that play.
Especially with the position Smash is in. Kiin didn't get a huge amount of value here with the equalizer. Smash had his 2-item spike. He had the Essence Reaver and the Glory. He wants to be able to push forward and challenge, but they're just kiting away slowly. And even though in the end they do get that 1 kill, Duro manages to buy so much time with the ultimate.
Good flank from ShowMaker. Good how he was threatening
on the rest of the fight where they've already disengaged.
Well, now back into some normalcy, and
unused combos the deadliest.
This is the fact that that 1 kill just evens up the kill score. The Dragon moves us back towards Drake parity as well, with the 3rd one going towards Gen.G.
This could be a big TP, bro. Big TP. There's no turret top as well, so he's chilling.
Does not have a flash up and available.
Baby Kiin is gonna fall
forward with that molten shield, and he doesn't really
Holy, what a play!
About that red carpet, he just takes out.
What a play! ShowMaker.
The cross map is going to be from Gen.G.
They already have this top turret, and Chovy can't get onto this inner because the Jarvan is nearby, and there's prio in mid here for Dplus. I think there's a really good opportunity seized by Dplus to just use that TP, knowing that there isn't really heavy cost of the Sylas pushing topside there with the control they have elsewhere on the map. So really nice pinch puts Dplus back into the gold lead here.
Yeah, nicely done, but you can see it's a bit of a heart monitor there towards the bottom side of the screen. No one really pulling out to a very large lead in this game on either side. You have to remember that scaling that we were talking about before, the Senna getting stronger and stronger. It is good for Gen.G, but I don't think that Dplus have necessarily hit that power spike just yet, as Chovy, is barely unable to grab Siwoo. Smash probably wanting 3 items before Dplus are really feeling strong.
Yeah, even with the late game scaling Senna, you are playing into a Jarvan Annie composition, so you have to position well. You do have to play the late game well. You
Jesus Christ, guys. I don't know why I am experiencing insane fatigue.
The real thing
I don't know.
That Ruler is trying to play around right now. As you can already start to feel
crazy.
As he's
getting close to that
second item that he's ready to actually start.
I think I have some health issues. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I need to get my blood checked and get my body checked. I think I have some health issues. Siwoo's tanky. I don't think he can gonna die here.
Does get that world ender out as Chovy steals one away himself. The rest of Gen.G trying to chase
I
the
sleep well,
remainder of Dplus
Today I
Kia
slept
back
well.
towards this
I
mid
woke up
lane,
at 10.
as there's ShowMaker and Kiin battling
Went
it
to
out
sleep
in
at
the top side
2:30.
of the map. That is a fantastic cataclysm.
It was amazing.
Puts Ruler and Canyon in a little bit of a cage, but where
Lucid,
is the
why,
follow-up?
bro?
That is the question. Kiin,
This is also
he
such a
comes
classic
down to stop
DK, bro.
Smash
Our Annie is
from
top
going, and
lane.
stopping
Our
Lucid
Annie
from
is top
escaping. That is gonna be the
lane.
kill under the Jarvan. And
Our
Gen.G
Annie
even
is
it out
top
once more.
lane.
I don't understand the thought process there because you didn't have the backup from your team. It's like you wanted to hold him still, but it just gets locked down next to him. This gives such a good opportunity to use his Herald.
What are you doing?
To try and defend. Now they do have ShowMaker coming down to help them out, but that mid tower took so much damage.
Now luckily they are able to keep the
ShowMaker
turret
now, instead of
alive,
pushing
and
top
if
more,
Dplus
is now
could
grouping with his
make
team
some
for
sort
no
of
reason.
counter push and get this enemy mid turret here in the mid lane, it would feel huge for them, but they use so
I'll
many
just keep
tools.
farming. All right, never mind. There is a reason. Kiin is a freebie.
ShowMaker picking up the kill onto the Rumble. That is two
Yeah,
deaths for
ShowMaker.
Kiin.
That could actually be, you know, now Gen.G have to spend Chovy's TP here. It could have been an angle to potentially get that turret. Looks like it's not going to happen. This is going to be cleared away. Chovy did have that teleport. But I'm with you on that Jarvan call, Ox, because there's no follow-up there. It's an angle where he's going to hit two, and he hits the immediate push away and get double knockup. There's just no follow-up damage, so he lost some critical tools there. A bit puzzling on that one, and now Gen.G pushing this wave through. The dragon spawns here in 30 seconds would be their second of the game to even us up 2-2, and right now they have Prio, they have the setup for Ruler.
Yeah, they have control despite the fact that Kiin isn't even alive yet and doesn't have TP. They are making use of Siwoo, pushing in the side lane, should get this tower, but it just shows the control Gen.G have right now of the river, that even with a player not on the map, they still feel confident to press forward.
Yeah, that is really nice from Siwoo. They're able to take down that turret. Mortal Reminder is completed, third item here for Smash as well. Very much respect that decision, especially as these Ocean Dragons start to get stacked up. Gen.G have been pretty good at getting into position for those.
Look at Aatrox top wave. Beautiful.
As you're saying, really desperately want to get this mid turret off the map. Would make Ruler's life so much more difficult.
Dplus do this really well when they make sure that the pressure on the top wave always happens in unison.
They should get an equalizer trying to defend. They're trying to turn.
Yeah, they do manage to get the turret as now Kiin looks for the harpoon, doesn't get it there onto Smash.
Duro, 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 Duro. Oh, ShowMaker!
Finds the culling. Duro taking so much damage. He'll be taken out. It's a double for Smash as Canyon gets on in there. He takes down a Milio, but that is not enough to bring
Holy
back the fight in
ShowMaker.
favor of Gen.G.
What a disaster
Playmaking
for
maker.
Gen.G. Duro looks for the flash ult, but they don't have the follow-up.
Playmaking
and
maker.
then the Tibbers comes through, and Gen.G were so split on the chase.
It feels like they all knew what they wanted to do. Unfortunately, they forgot to take into account that there's a
They actually get Nash as well. They actually get Nash as well.
Down on top of their head.
Yeah, a little bit
4v5 fight, by the way. Aatrox wasn't there, neither was Sylas. Aatrox and Sylas were not in this play.
But this Tibbers came up huge, Smash
Aatrox TP'd bot, what a psycho. Look at ShowMaker just saving his AD, bro. Why on earth are we looking at the POV of Lucian here, bro? ShowMaker, bro, did the work.
Milio knowing he doesn't have the damage, he needs more time. And Chovy was so late
ShowMaker,
to the play,
what a legend,
he
bro.
couldn't impact it at all. He just had to watch as the rest of his team was obliterated. A double for the Jarvan,
That's the world champ right there, bro.
And suddenly,
That's the...
Dplus in so much control.
Jarvan was looking for an angle, not quite able to get there, but this is going to be that second dragon available for Gen.G. Siwoo on a flank angle. The rest of Dplus moving on over as Kiin does manage to find the Aatrox. Duro gets in there with the CC.
Siwoo actually fell. But they have so much damage. And he's doing so much work. Lucid. Smash.
Looking for Canyon now. He gets that extra range from the Milio, and Canyon just has to run.
Ooh.
Doesn't pick up the kill.
Talk to me more about that scaling, baby.
Running the wrong direction. It's going to be
Talk to me more about that scaling.
Here for Dplus Kia, who may have just booked.
I think Gen.G didn't do enough early game, guys. Too few skirmishes. I think they are giga outscaled. Smash is so rich too.
Around these fights, 6-0 3,000 gold lead over Ruler, and he's decimating Gen.G in this game.
Absolute back-to-back errors in the
bro,
fight.
at least we get T1 Gen.G, bro. At least we get T1 Gen.G. That's kind of hype still. We're getting T1 Gen.G for third place.
right side of the fight. All starts off with this catch on the Siwoo, but he's an Aatrox who's got Sundered Sky. He's level 16. It takes so long. Look at where Ruler is on the right side. He can offer an ult and a few autos, but that is it. As you said, off Smash on the other side of the fight, completely uncontested. No one can touch him. And Ruler, like Chovy in the previous disaster, can only watch until he's the next one to meet his demise.
And they chase him down, and they pick up the kill. Now Dplus in an incredible position. It is not over just yet, but it really did feel like that was the beginning.
What a picture. That picture goes hard, bro.
And imagine it. The Cinderella story has already happened today. KC have already done it. If Dplus
Smash with the Lucian.
Another one afterwards, it would just be ridiculous. That might be what we're witnessing here. Still,
goal difference means nothing if you're broke.
We remember game number 1 of this very series.
Nice.
To pull back for a large portion of that game, and now Siwoo is in a lot of trouble, wanting to get that Umbral dash over this wall. The healing is kind of ridiculous, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Still, Dplus should be able to put a dent into this inner turret, but now they don't have their Aatrox for the next little while.
Yeah, it's a good move from Gen.G when they're making that siege to get a pick.
I don't know, bro.
Kills any momentum for the side of
She was so fucking unserious.
Change the position of the game, but buys you a bit more time. Right now, Ruler on the stack check, he's at 66, and this is the problem with the Senna that got changed, is that you're just never hitting the same numbers that you used to. You're not getting that same level of range that you would with the old Senna back in the days. You get like 120 at 30 minutes. Takes a lot longer to come online.
Oh, there's that power spike. It's a little bit of lag there on that one.
What is the Sylas build? Honestly, great question.
He's got IE.
It was the right time for the power spike to come in because the Infinity Edge is now done, and Smash, like, this is the strongest he's going to be this game.
SS Reaver. He finished that item.
And he is running this game.
18 minutes ago, bro.
The damage numbers were much higher than Ruler's, but the point is that fairly
this is done, bro. Like, Smash is going to have a field day. Smash is going to penta, bro.
Moments, and that he's been able
Where's
to turn
Porte build Annie? I don't think Porte build Annie is good if you're solo AP.
He has half of his teams right now. You can see he is sitting on a ton of gold. He is massively fed, and Gen.G just can't step up with him with anybody right now. Not even Canyon can really walk up to this guy at this point.
Yeah, his short range, especially when you're playing into Nautilus, into Rumble, into Zhao, it's really difficult, and it puts a lot of burden on you, especially when you're relying on the Milio W to be up. But the damage when he does find access is massive. He's been so patient with finding those windows.
Not to mention he's also got Swifties, which I think is a really smart idea into all of the slows from this Senna that are going to be raining down. Equalizer used in desperation just to get them away from this inner turret. Does give Chovy some time on that top side. Yeah, Smash Ban here in the arena. And you could imagine some smiles on the faces of the Smash fans here in Paris as well. As he's had such a good showing so far today.
So in 1 minute.
A game that is not finished. It's a 4,000 gold lead at 28 minutes. There are angles back into this game. Gen.G have great scaling, but I cannot stress. So we've talked about it a little bit here. How much of an upset I think most people see this as. I mean, I came into this series.
I thought they would get it done. I just thought, you know, they have to fight with Nautilus. Since our Sylas on mid onto the Annie, but it never happened. We just had 15 minutes of nothing, bro. 15 minutes of nothing.
We commentated a month ago. It just
I think Sylas got saved as well in the draft by the Aatrox and Jarvan 4-5s.
They got 5th place.
I mean, honestly, if Dplus Kia
at least has some ults.
The biggest upset I've seen in 2 or 3 hours.
I think this... And even then, it's the biggest upset that I've seen. Like, if that didn't happen since the day prior, where they took down BLG.
Just to talk about the trajectory that happens after this, win or lose for Dplus, the Legend group for our region domestically, it just got a whole lot more interesting.
Oh, yes, it did.
And that's, I think we're all winners as LCK.
I don't want to say anything about DK.
100%.
I'll just let it rip.
And LCK
We're just going to sit there in silence.
LCK enthusiasts.
We let it rip.
It's LCK based.
20 seconds until
we let it rip.
So much control to Dplus. Gen.G just trying to bide their time, just trying to sit back at scale.
Yep, that is a very happy guy right there, even if he didn't have a smile on his face. I imagine was pretty psyched about how things are going.
They just don't get access to any portion of the river or their own jungle. Gen.G kind of force up mid.
Oh dear, Gen.G gonna have to stare down the barrel of an Aatrox, maybe with an Ocean Soul. Yeah, good luck.
ShowMaker control vision in the brush.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, they are going to have to walk
I don't want to say
forward here.
anything.
ShowMaker does
I'm not
have
going
that
to talk
stun
about
prepped
anyone's
and ready, but
chances.
things
I'm not
are
going to
getting
talk about
very
anyone.
dark on the rift
I'm not
for
going to
Gen.G.
mess it up here.
ShowMaker wanting to get that flash
ShowMaker
over the
on a
wall
flank.
if he can,
ShowMaker's going to
as
carry
Lucid
this,
goes
isn't he?
in. The culling there
ShowMaker's
to
going to
soften up
bomb
Gen.G,
buckle
and
up
it doesn't
this.
get a lot of value, and now Chovy off to the side, flashes
Chovy.
over the wall.
Siwoo's got backline access as well. Gen.G are split and they're in trouble.
Yeah, they don't have their Sylas for this fight, but they do manage to back away far enough in order for Chovy to wrap around.
So tense.
So much jostling for position right now.
ShowMaker, give me.
Smash
Penta, Smash Penta, Smash Penta, Smash Penta.
Smash is so deadly. If he gets in there
Smash
now,
Penta.
it is the Crescent Guard out from Canyon. The Cataclysm comes in as well for
Smash
Lucid,
Penta.
and
They have no
Dawning
Zinza ult, no
Shadow
Senna
and
ult,
Ruler.
no
They're
Rumble ult.
running out of ultimates here.
We're chilling,
on the
DK,
side of
we're chilling.
Gen.G.
She was going to recall and TP back in. He's the only one really chunked out on Dplus Kia. They got to feel good about the positioning they have now. But the scuttle does
Aatrox
get
will
claimed
TP
by
back.
Gen.G to provide some permanent vision.
He still has flash ult here. It needs to be respected. Ruler has to be so careful. He has positioned really well in this fight, but it means he also has not
Kiin
been
is
able to
getting
put out any
Rumble ult
damage.
back.
Siwoo on the flank. He knows his target. He's marked Ruler here, and the dragon is under fire.
Yeah, Siwoo has a
Oh,
massive
smash.
shield from that teleport as well. Look at this flank angle. It is
Oh my god, didn't
absolutely
ShowMaker have an
ridiculous.
angle there? Am I
He's spotting out.
crazy?
He's not pulling the trigger just yet.
Only DK can see the money bag. They can see the money bag.
It's going to be a smite by Canyon. Secures it. No soul for Dplus, but he gets taken down to the GA, and Siwoo's in a pretty good
Okay, it's
spot
okay.
to get that flank
Okay, we can win the
working.
fight. We can win the
ShowMaker
fight. We
gets
can win the
engaged
fight. We can win the
by
fight.
Chovy, but Canyon
Holy
just
ShowMaker
explodes.
outplaying.
ShowMaker's still alive.
Outplaying
Siwoo and
Chovy.
Lucid dealing with the rest
Double
of
CC
Gen.G,
stack.
and they take out the Sylas. Now it's Smash flashing
Me
in
bomba.
on top of Ruler. He gets
My
himself
bomba
out of the
clot.
way. But DK, they may not have been able to
DK
keep up
versus
the pace,
KC
but they are
Finals.
still going to be able to decimate the base
Give
of
the
title
ShowMaker.
defenders
Give
of
ShowMaker
last
the
year's
MVP right now.
EWC.
Tony Ruler and
Give
Kiin,
ShowMaker the
I think
MVP
we
right
just
now.
look for the end right now.
Absolutely. They've got a cannon wave here, and these turrets just aren't going to last.
Give him the MVP right now.
Guys are on cooldown. Gonna have to try to clear this wave.
Oh.
The steps here in Paris must be littered with
Oh.
glass slippers. Cinderella is just all over the place as Dplus. They are pressing down. The first Nexus turret is going to fall. Kiin gets engaged on. Down to the GA goes Lucid, but he's buying some time. The flag forward from Siwoo. It's ridiculous. Cataclysm comes in as Ruler doesn't get the ulti off. Smash is absolutely legendary in this game, but they maybe do not have enough to take down the Nexus this time around. They have another wave coming on in as Duro looking for an angle. He might be able to get a depth charge, but he doesn't have enough.
I don't know. Yesterday I said what's going to happen is KC and Dplus. Dplus is going to beat BLG and Gen.G, and then they're going to lose the finals. In bro fashion.
Just not going to happen. All they could at least
It would be the
rest
most
on is
Dplus
that they
story of
are
all
still
time.
alive in this game. As Canyon goes incredibly low in this fight, has to go in and lose his GA to take the dragon, so he's isolated. Look at Ruler. One auto is all he gets in this fight. He can't do anything. There's too many threats. And then they just turn back onto the Zhao. They kill Canyon. It's a really nice snap restun there from ShowMaker on the turn, and Ruler has to tuck tail and run.
I feel like Smash is like a kid in a candy shop. It's just deciding who do I want to kill. They're all good options. Spoiled for choice there. In this base end though, Lucid had ult available, but uses all of his mana going in. Doesn't have
I
that
swear they could have ended. No, am I crazy?
The route that comes out onto ShowMaker
Why are we going under the
allows
tower
Canyon
for the
to
wave
get
crashes?
kill. Little
Can we see the
moments
game?
in that final push that allows Gen.G to hold on to the game for now, but Dplus Kia
Okay.
is still very much in control of the game.
DK have no flashes, bro. They have no flashes. Senna still only has 80 stacks. Like, she's not gonna shoot from a different continent yet.
By a GA of his own, has that cheeky BF sword as well. And now looking at this Baron that has just respawned. 2 minutes on another attempt at Soul. Let's see whether Gen.G can manage to fight back once again. Imagine if they did it. It would be ridiculous. This series is already unbelievable, and Siwoo is looking to try and break that dream.
Chovy's kind of caught.
Towards the Baron pit right now.
Chovy's kind of caught.
On this Sylas, but Lucid might be able to find the angle to get on in here. He's got that shield. The Cataclysm has been taken away. The Dplus, they have just gonna chase him till the ends of the earth.
Kiin is defending, but he can TP into a fight here. Dplus need to be careful about how they control this. Chovy running away here with the
Oh, he cages him in.
Yeah, Cataclysm Flash to get
All
Chovy
right.
out of there. Smash
Saving Private
He's able to
Chovy.
dash through this wall and look for that 1v1. Chovy's
Killing
still
Private
very
Chovy.
scary, but
Oh!
with there is no Kingslaying available
And Nash.
for that Sylas. And now Duro's getting
And Nash,
This
and Nash,
should
and
mean the
Nash.
Dplus could
Nash
get
and-
themselves a Baron and create massive control for themselves in this final game.
Super minions are stacking in the bottom wave. Kiin has TP, has to defend those, but there is just no way they can get anywhere near this pit. Not a chance. And this Baron should allow Dplus to open up what's left on the base. They've already gotten 8 of the turrets. There's only 2 inhibitors left, with inhibitor turrets already taking some damage. They are looking to
ShowMaker
take this
Smites don't
Baron,
want to lose.
reset, and walk down the red carpet and claim the spot in the finals to meet KC.
And I was expecting
Now
that
we have
the
Soul
best of
Fight.
5 tomorrow in our grand final was
I
going
need
to
to see
kind of be
summoners.
the other way around. Dplus in a great position.
All right.
to
Flash
get us
on
that
Annie. Lucian will have
topsy-turvy
flash.
Final
All right, DK.
still hasn't happened just
All right,
yet.
DK.
30 seconds on the Dragon. They
All
have
right.
a whole lot of control. They have a good inhibitor taken on the bottom side.
Robbie's
as well.
saying I'm
Need
late.
That extra pressure.
We didn't agree to a time.
Is going to get claimed here.
How am I
Dplus playing
late?
that defense. Make sure that no one can get vision around this pit.
Gen.G, if they can fight them off this dragon, deny the soul, and wipe the Baron, that would be the winning play. That would be so high value. It's such a hard task to ask. And if they let Dplus push the waves in,
That's what's happening.
they're just going to lose the game off minions.
I mean, when Chovy can't walk up to a
We didn't agree to a
without
time.
blowing
How
up
am I
before he
late?
can Close the gap. It's so hard for him to do anything here.
This Lucian has 7 items.
Yeah.
He is absolutely massive in this game. Bloodthirster just completed, has that extra shield now available. The Dragon has just spawned. Gen.G do have a cheeky little ward, but now Chovy taking so much damage once again. Every dash forward from Smash is like half the health bar of anyone on Gen.G.
Starting
Come
to
on,
stack up
DK.
this bottom wave.
Come on,
They have
DK.
Baron for another minute and a half. These
All right.
Nexus
We don't
turrets
want
are
soul. We don't want soul.
Gen.G are gonna
That's
have to
okay.
make a decisive call here.
We don't want soul. We don't want soul.
We are 98 stacks on this Senna.
Another dash in. Lucid just gets cold.
Oh, the flag. Lucid found him.
Lucid is executed the AD carry. And
Holy. Gen.G, you're great. You know I love you. You know I love you. Don't worry about it, bro. Let Dplus. Let's get Dplus make a paycheck. There they are, bro. It's hard not to be happy for them, bro. It's really hard not to be happy for them. It's insanely difficult to not be happy for these boys.